the 1899 Philippine Constitution. But before we formally start, let us first define what a constitution is. What is constitution? Constitution is the basic principles and laws of a nation, state, or social group that determine the powers and duties of the government and guarantee certain rights to the people in it. A written instrument embodying the rules of a political or social organization. A constitution is also called the highest form of law of the land because yung mga nilalaman niya is yung mga policies and rules na pinapatupad ng government. It also contains certain rights, yung mga karapatan ng mga citizens na nasa loob ng nation na yon.
And what is our brief history of 1899 Constitution? Emilio Aguinaldo, who had returned to the Philippines from Hong Kong and planned to establish dictatorial government, then a revolutionary government to probe the capacity of the Filipinos to have self-government.
So, nag-start yung Malolos Constitution or the 1899 Philippine Constitution after ni Emilio Aguinaldo makabalik from Hong Kong. Yung ginawa niya sa Hong Kong, kasama pa yung mga ibang katipuneros, is nagbuo ata sila ng samahan that is called Hong Kong Junta or Junta. And after that, nag-purchase sila ng mga weapons. Siguro, in case na magkaroon ng war between Philippines and Spain. Kasi that time, yung Philippines ay nasa pangangalaga or nasa, nako-colonize tayo that time ng Spain.
A revolution was launched against Spain and the revolutionaries declared the independence of the Philippines on June 12, 1898 at Kawit Cavite.
After nun, nag-launch ng revolution yung Katipuneros against Spain and noong June 12, 1898, na-declare nila yung kalayaan ng Pilipinas. That time, I think, gusto nilang ma-recognize internationally yung Philippine Independence Day noong June 12, 1898, pero hindi siya widely na-recognize since after nun, may mga nangyari pang hindi inaasahan. On September 15, 1898, the Malolos Congress was formed, following the approval of the 1899 Philippine Constitution, also known as Malolos Constitution, on January 20, 1899, making it the first Philippine Republic. The Malolos Congress was composed of 136 delegates from 43 provinces, fought for many trials to form the Constitution. Ayan, noong September 15, 1898, na-form yung Malolos Congress sa Malolos, Bulacan, and sila yung mga delegates. They are consist of 136 delegates, and nanggaling pa sila from 43 provinces na nag-fought para ayun nga, maitaguyod or mabuo yung 1899 Philippine Constitution, and na-approve siya noong January 20, 1899 na parang siya yung considered as the first Philippine Republic.
And we're going to the facts of the 1899 Philippine Constitution. Declaration of the Philippine Independence by Aguinaldo was his move, believing it would inspire the people to fight more eagerly against the Spaniards, and at the same time lead the foreign countries to recognize the independence of the country. Besides, Aguinaldo originally formed the Malolos Constitution to show the Spanish government the capacity of Filipinos to have self-government that they believed would lead us to independence.
Ayun, yung fact number 1, nilaunch ni Emilio Aguinaldo yung Philippine Independence Day kasi parang gusto niya na mag-fought hard yung mga tao, yung mga katipunero and yung mga ordinary people ng Pilipinas para sa kalayaan natin. And umaasa din siya na that time, yung Philippine Independence is ma-recognize din internationally, pero hindi nangyari. And yung fact number 2 naman, nilaunch niya yung the 1899 Philippine Constitution kasi gusto niyang ipakita sa mga Spanish or sa mga Spaniards na may capacity yung mga Filipino na bumuo or magkaroon ng self-government. The 1899 Philippine Constitution was composed of 100 articles divided into 14 titles, 8 transitory provisions, and 1 unnumbered article.
Going to our preamble in the Malolos Constitution. Our preamble was, we, the representatives of the Filipino people, lawfully convene, in order to establish justice, provide for common defense, promote the general welfare, and ensure the benefits of liberty, imploring the aid of sovereign legislator of the universe for the attainment of these ends, have voted, decreed, and sanctioned the following.
Ayun, so sa preamble, dinidiscuss lang doon yung mga need gawin or yung parang oath para ma-fulfill mo kung ano yung mga nakasaad sa mga babanggiting titles and articles na meron tayo sa 1899 Philippine Constitution. Such as general welfare, the sovereignty, sa liberty, and for common good of the citizens of the Philippine country. Title 1, The Republic, Article 1 to 3, defines what a Philippine Republic is and briefly discuss about the country's sovereignty. So, after the preamble, let's tackle the Title 1. Title 1, which is entitled The Republic. Dun sa Republic, meron siyang 3 articles and I'll make it simple na lang. Doon, sinasabi na Philippine is a republic and yung Philippine merong independency and freedom, and yung sovereignty ng Pilipinas, hindi lang sa Pilipinas, kundi nagre-reside din siya or pinopossess din siya ng lahat ng Filipino people na nandun mismo sa nation na yon. Title 2, The Government, Article 4, details the description of the government as the voice of the citizens, its responsibilities and limitations. Title 3, The Religion, Article 5, highlights the separation of the two, the state and the church. Ayan, pagsamahin natin yung dalawang title, yung Title 2, which is the government, nakalagay lang doon na yung government kailangan fair sa lahat, legislative, judicial, o executive branch man yan. And dapat yung government yung nagsisilbing representative or voice of the Filipino citizen. Sa Title 3, which is the religion, isang article lang din siya, which is yung Article 5, na nakalagay doon na all religion must be respected, and yung state and religion dapat hindi sila magkasama kundi magkahiwalay. And the national individual rights, Article 6 to 32, tackles the civil rights of every Filipinos as well as the foreigners or extranjeros. So, ayun naman sa Title 4, which is yung the Filipino and their national and individual rights, from Article 6 to 32 siya. Nakasaad lang doon yung mga rights ng every Filipinos, for example, sa mga estates na pinopossess natin, sa mga land na own natin, and yung protection natin against crime, and yung mga rights natin, even though, kunyari, nasa jail na, or nakagawa man ng crime, diba meron sinasabi, you have the right to remain silent, na need mo ng attorney na magre-represent sa'yo sa court, kahit meron kang crime na ginawa. Ayun, something like that. And hindi lang din siya exclusively sa mga Filipino na nakatira lang dito sa Pilipinas, kundi yung mga foreigners or yung mga tinatawag na extranjeros na nagre-reside dito sa Pilipinas. Title 5, The Legislative Power, Article 33 to 53, details the power of the legislative branch as well as its duties. So, yung Title 5 naman is yung legislative power or legislative branch, and yung sakop niyang article is from Article 33 to 53. And to make it brief lang, yung sa legislative power, ang main function niya kasi is nagmo-modify siya ng law at the same time, nagme-make din siya ng law. And yung mga key people na nagpapatupad nun is yung nasa Congress, Senate, and saka sa House of Representatives. And katulong din nila yung president kasi syempre pag nagagawa ka ng law, kailangan ng approval ng president and vice versa. Title 6, the Permanent Commission, Article 54 to 55, describe the duties and the responsibilities of the Permanent Commission. So, yung Article 54 and 55 under Permanent Commission is sakop siya ng Title 6. And yung ginagawa niya is parang another form of government, I think siya. And nag-act lang siya based sa utos din ng higher government. And for example, yung ginagawa niya is nag-act siya sa mga bagay na need i-work out or need ng agarang solution, ganun. And sila din yung tumitingin if yung case ba na yun is dapat pa bang idala sa higher position like sa president, sa representatives, sa solicitor general, etc. Title 7, the Executive Power, Article 56 to 57, details the power of the executive branch and its duties. So, yung Title 7, which is the executive power na sakop niya yung Article 56 to 57, hina-highlight lang dun yung na president yung head ng executive branch and nag-e-elect lang siya galing sa mga cabinet members ng president or secretaries from each department. For example, DSWD, DepEd, DPWH, DILG, and etc. Title 8, the President of the Republic, Article 58 to 72, highlights the criteria to be a president, the length of the term, and the duties to be fulfilled. Ayun, so yung Title 8 is yung the President of the Republic from Article 58 to 72 and dinidetail lang doon or dinedescribe lang doon yung mga criteria sa mga tatakbong presidente ng Pilipinas. For example, sa age or family background or sa educational background. And hina-highlight lang din doon yung length ng term ng bilang isang presidente and yun ay 6 years, 'di ba? And sinasabi lang din doon yung yung pinaka natatandaan ko doon is yung hina-highlight nila na even though president ka, liable ka pa rin sa mga crimes na syempre makocommit mo if ever maging presidente ka ng Pilipinas. Title 9, the Secretaries of the Government, Article 73 to 76, focuses on the formation of the cabinet and its duties. Yung Title 9 naman, which is yung the Secretaries of the Government, covered niya yung from Article 73 to 76 and kino-conclude lang doon yung duty nila as a cabinet member and secretary of their own task. Ina-assignan sila ng mga task. For example, sa finance, sa agriculture, sa education, sa health, ganon. And dinidetail lang din doon yung mga responsibilities nila and duties nila as a secretary of the certain department of the government. Title 10, the Judicial Power, Article 77 to 81, details the power of the judicial branch and its duties. Yung sa Title 10 naman is yung the judicial power of or the judicial branch and dinidetail lang dun yung mga duties and responsibilities nila syempre hiwalay dun sa executive and legislative power and yung tatlong yon dapat maging independent sila sa isa't isa para magkaroon ng balance. And yun nga sa judicial power naman is yung head niya is syempre yung pinaka-judge and hawak din nila yung highest form of court which is yung Supreme Court of the Philippines. So, syempre even though judge ka, ikaw yung humahatol kung may kasalanan ba yung tao or wala, kung guilty ba siya o hindi. syempre, liable ka pa rin sa mga crime na magagawa mo. Any form of crime, liable sila, and any ordinary people pwedeng magsampa ng kaso laban dun sa member ng Supreme Court or any kinds of court, mapa-lower man yan or local government man yan. Title 11, Provincial and Popular Assemblies, Article 82, explains the duties and function of the provincial and or popular assemblies which act as a local government unit. Yung sa Title 11 naman, which is yung provincial and popular assemblies, dinidetail niya yung function and duties ng isang local government unit. Kaya tayo may local government unit para hindi lang tayo sa national government umasa, and para din ma-ensure yung transparency and accountability in a local manner. Kaya tayo may local government unit para ma-manage natin yung self-governance. And need niya mag-report sa national government para ma-monitor tayo and hindi sila, yung mga nasa posisyon, mag-exceed sa mga power nila, which is yung sakop is yung sa local government lang. And ayun, kagaya din ng iba, liable din sila sa mga crimes na magagawa nila kasi syempre ang ang goal talaga ng Philippine Constitution is yung ma-imply yung mga rights ng mga tao and yung pagkakapantay-pantay natin. Title 12, Administration of the State, Article 83 to 88, highlights the duties and responsibilities of the government itself. Title 12, which is the Administration of the State, sakop niya yung Article 83 to 88, and ini-imply lang doon na every year, in accordance sa recommendation ng President of the Republic, kailangan mag-report ng national government including sa mga debts, utang ng Pilipinas to be exact, and sa mga budgets, and kasi need natin ng transparency, and I think lagi siyang naka-live for us to know kung ano man yung pinag-uusapan nila. And ayun nga, kailangan nilang maging transparent kasi syempre, malalaman kapag meron silang tinago. For example, yung confidential funds, saan ba siya napunta? Ano ba yung pinaglaanan niya? Ayun. Title 13, Amendment of the Constitution. Article 89 to 90 focuses on amending and reforming the Constitution. So, ayan, yung Title 13, which is the amendment of the Constitution from Article 89 to 90, yung simple meaning lang niya is yung sa Constitution, ina-amend siya or gumagawa sila ng small changes. Kunyari, yung article na to is I think or they think it's unfair sa people of the Republic. Pinabago nila yon. Syempre, with the consent of the President, and kailangan nilang i-cite yung pinaka-certain article or title na yun na gusto nilang baguhin in order to make that change. Title 14, Constitutional Observance, Oath and Language, Article 91 to 93, details to follow and observe the said Constitution. So, sa pinakahuling title na tayo, which is yung Title 14, Constitutional Observance, Oath, and Language, from Article 91 to 93. Nakasaad lang doon na from President to executives, yung mga officers ng government, hanggang sa ordinary people of the Philippines, kailangan nilang i-observe yung Philippine Constitution, if nasusunod ba yon, nalalabag ba yon, mayroon bang mga unfair laws na hindi sang-ayon sa or hindi align sa civil rights ng mga Filipinos. And yun yung for me, ito yung pinakamahalagang title kasi even though nasa pinakamataas na posisyon ka, gaya ng ordinary people or ordinary citizen, nakatataka pa rin sa mata ng public kasi if ever nalabag mo man yung ganitong constitution, syempre, kailangan mo maging accountable and kailangan mo maging liable sa nakommit mo na yun. And, hindi lang dito nagtatapos yung Title 14. And, di ba nabanggit ko yung oath? Kailangan before ka i-proclaim as, kunyari, mayor, kailangan, before ka umalis ng assembly na yun, kailangan mo muna mag-oath bilang promise, or yun yung magsisil ng, before ka mag-proclaim as mayor, kasi, yun yung magsisil ng position mo, kung nakapanata ka ba. And, also, sinasaad din dito yung language na gagamitin ng bawat Filipino, which is optional, kasi that time, sakop tayo ng mga Spaniards. Naka-highlight doon na Spanish language may be used also, hindi lang yung language ng Philippines. Transitory provisions discuss the following. 1. The gradual change of the Constitution from Spanish to 1899. 2. Emergency instructions that the citizens can do during war. 3. Revolutionary government that aimed able men and women to be in service during war. So, ayan. Tapos na tayo from Title 1 to Title 14 ng the 1899 Philippine Constitution. Itatakal naman natin yung transitory provisions, which is nakapaloob doon yung 8 articles. Pero yung babanggitin kong tatlo, 3 following, is yun lang yung dinidiscuss niya within those 8 articles. So, yung number 1, ina-explain lang doon or dinidescribe lang doon yung gradual change ng Philippines from Spanish government to the 1899 Philippine Constitution. Number 2 naman, since revolutionary government tayo, prone tayo sa mga wars, and ayun nga, meron silang nilagay doon na emergency instruction na gagawin natin or maaaring maka-help sa atin, big help sa atin during wartime or during those times na magkakaroon ng war. And yung number 3 naman is yung all able men and women can be in charge sa service para maka-help sa mga soldiers since revolutionary government nga tayo. Kaya nga tayo merong ROTC para ma-training tayo para mag-serve sa Philippines. Additional article, all the estates, edifices, and other property possessed by the religious corporations in these islands shall be deemed restored to the Philippine state as of May 24, 1898, when the dictatorial government has been constituted in Cavite. Yung sa naman, sa one unnumbered article, which is yung nabasa nga natin kanina, sinasabi lang doon na all estates ng religious group ng 3 islands, which is yung Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, is naka-redeem lang siya sa Philippine Republic for that certain date. Tapos na tayo sa the 1899 Philippine Constitution itself. So, dumako naman tayo sa mga notable people na nagkaroon ng contribution sa pagpapatupad or sa pag-form ng first republic na to or the first constitution na to. And etong mga tao na to, I think hindi lang sila yung may ambag sa or may mga notable contribution sa Malolos Constitution, pero marami pa sila. Pero yung pinagkunan ko ng pinagkunan ko ng source is eto lang yung pinaka-hina-highlight nila, yung which is yung mga tao na laging nababanggit or laging nadidikit sa Malolos Constitution. So, notable people in Malolos Constitution: Emilio Aguinaldo, President of the First Philippine Republic. Mariano Ponce prepared the draft of Aguinaldo about the revolution government. Mariano Ponce prepared the draft of Aguinaldo about the revolutionary government. Ambrosio Rianzares Bautista, Aguinaldo's first advisor, advised him to form a dictatorial government. Consul Wildman, suggested that dictatorial government could lead to republican government that is similar to United States. Marcela Agoncillo, Lorenza Agoncillo, and Delfina Herbosa made the Philippine national flag in Hong Kong. Apolinario Mabini, advisor of Aguinaldo, known as the brain of the revolution and dark chamber of the president of those who envied him. Felipe Calderon and Felipe Buencamino, authors of the Constitution. The result of the 1899 Philippine Constitution. However, in the Spanish-American War, the revolutionaries sided with the Americans, hoping that with the defeat of Spain, independence will be granted by the U.S. to the Philippines. This, however, did not happen. The Philippines was effectively a territory of United States upon signing the Treaty of Paris between U.S. and Spain, suppressing the independence and freedom of the country, which is the Philippines. So, ayun nga, yung result ng Malolos Constitution is hindi siya nagtagal. During the Spanish-American War, nag-side yung Philippines sa American, hoping na mag-grant tayo ng independence natin kapag natalo nilang yung Spain, which is kabaliktaran sa nangyari. After that Spanish-American War, nag-sign sila ng Treaty of Paris, which is yung contract nila na babayaran ng Spain, ay ng Amerika, yung Spain, para mapunta sa kanila yung territory ng Philippines. And that time, parang nag 180 degrees yung nangyari sa atin, na imbis na makapit natin yung sovereignty na matagal na nating hinahangad, mas lalong na-suppress yung independence na need natin kasi naibenta na tayo ng Amerika sa Spain. Ay, ng Spain sa Amerika. Then, the Malolos Republic did not last long. It ended with the capture and surrender of Aguinaldo to the American forces on March 23, 1901 in Palanan, Isabela, which effectively dissolved the First Republic. So, ayun, hindi nagtagal yung Malolos Constitution like I've said earlier kasi nahuli si Emilio Aguinaldo sa Palanan, Isabela noong March 23, 1901. Syempre, nagtatago na siya since nagkaroon ng alyansa sa pagitan ng Amerika and sa Spain. Eh, di ba nag-side tayo sa Amerika during Spanish-American War? So, nagkaroon ng kasunduan between America and Spain. Syempre, tinutugis na nila si Emilio Aguinaldo kasi yung pag-side natin sa Amerika is pinangunahan ni Emilio Aguinaldo. Yung during ng pagkahuli niya, that time din na-dissolve completely yung Malolos Constitution which is nagmark yung endpoint ng First Republic ng Pilipinas. So, ayun, I hope marami kayong natutunan and sana marami kayong natutunan sa online reporting namin. Mas okay sana if F to F or face to face siya gagawin, pero yun nga, nadali yung oras natin ng university games and parang lagi tayong nagsususpend ng classes during heat index. So, ayun, I hope marami kayong natutunan and I hope madalian lang kayo sa mga ipapakwiz namin later. Yun lang.